Okay, so where did I left off? Man, I hate this lagging. Okay, so where he rescued her from a fire, Tarzan learned the bitter news as she had become engaged to another man. Meanwhile, clues from his parents' cabin have enabled Darnall to prove Tarzan's true identity as John Clayton II, the Earl of Greystoke. Instead of reclaiming his inheritance from William, Tarzan chooses to conceal and renounce his heritage for the sake of Jane's happiness. In the background, Burroughs drifted across the United States until he was 36, holding 17 consecutive careers before he published stories. He worked as a U.S. cavalryman, a gold miner in Oregon, a cowboy in Idaho, a railroad policeman in Salt Lake City, and an owner of several failed businesses. He decided to write his own pulp fiction after being disappointed by the reading material others offered, and worked in the capacity for 4 years before his first novel, Tarzan of the Apes, was published. Tarzan first appeared in the All Story in October 1912. An All Story published in its entirety installments, and it was published in 1914 as a novel. Though the Jungle Book was sometimes cited as an influence of Burroughs' Tarzan of the Apes, he claimed that his only inspiration was a Roman myth of Romulus and Remus. Rudyard Kipling commented the Burroughs had jazzed the motive of the Jungle Book, and he imagined thoroughly enjoyed himself. Okay, so, excuse me, See right here, for the comic adaptation, the book would have been adapted into a comic form on a number of occasions, both in the original Tarzan comic strip and comic books. The strip itself began with Hal Foster's adaptation of the story. Notable adaptations until comic book form include those of the Gold Key Comics and Tarzan number 155, script by Gaylord Dubois, art by Russ Manning, dated September 1966, reprinted in number 178, dated October 1969, DC Comics, and Tarzan's number 207 through 210, dated April through July 1972. You have script, art by Joe Kubert, and Marvel Super Special number 29, dated in 1983, reprinted in Tarzan the Apes number 1 through 2, dated July through August 1984. Probably the most prejudiced comic version, however, was illustrator and former Tales of Tarzan in 1976, which adapted 4 stories from Burroughs' identically titled collection of Tarzan stories. Dynamite Entertainment adapted a story for the first 6 issues of The Lord of the Jungle, about loosely, for example, the cannibal tribe was replaced by a village of literal ape man. The 3 old-time radio series were based on Tarzan characters. Burroughs himself revised early script in 1932 through 1934. As need for accuracy, that series had Burroughs' daughter Joan in the role of Jane. Until the artists, animators, directors, singers turn at the Walt Disney Studios back in the day, they turned Tarzan of the Apes into a 37th full-length animated, adventurous, and epic comedy dramatic jungle classic, Tarzan. I even bought this at Walmart before before it came out on Disney Plus. In fact, besides, see, here's the thing. The story of Tarzan was back in the 1880s. A British couple and their infant son were shipwrecked in equatorial Africa. The couple built a treehouse, but they were killed by a leopard named Sabor. Kala, a local gorilla, whose son, who was also killed by Sabor, finds a human infant, adopts him, naming him Tarzan. So anyway, it was an immortal legend. As a child, Tarzan befriends Kala's niece, Turk, and a paranoid elephant named Tantor. Because of his different appearance and unorthodox behaviors, Tarzan finds himself treated differently by the other gorillas and by Kerchak, the troop's leader and Kala's mate. Tarzan makes valiant efforts to improve himself as he grows. Several years later, Sabor attacks the gorillas, but Tarzan killed it, gaining Kerchak's reluctant respect. Meanwhile, British explorer Archimedes Q. Porter, his daughter Jane, and their evil hunter escort, and the evil bodyguard, an evil butler, I guess. I think it was William Cecil Clayton, also Clayton, arrived in Africa to study the gorillas. Jane accidentally became separated and was chased by baboons until curious Tarzan rescued her. After comparing her to himself, he realized they were from the same species. Jane